So, welcome to Awakening Women's Wisdom, the podcast where we have conversations with very interesting and diverse women about how they bring conscious grace, which is kindness and thoughtfulness, compassion into their daily life, and some little bits of wisdom that they've learned along the way. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Laurine. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Awakening Women's Wisdom. I'm very excited to meet this guest today. It's the first time for me, although Rebecca knows her well. So I will let Rebecca do the introductions. Go ahead.
Yes, this is Maureen Cox. She is a local to me, living also in my LA neighborhood of Woodland Hills. I have known Maureen since I moved to Woodland Hills because we went to a meeting together, and they were literally tossing a ball of yarn around a circle and asking us to say what we needed. And I said, well, I just moved to Woodland Hills and I'm looking for a friend. And Maureen said, I'll be your friend. And sure enough, for the last more than 9 years, we've been evolving as really good friends. I have a lot of respect for Maureen, just really inspired by the ways that she brings a lot of grace into her life as an intuitive chef and as a creative artist and a nature lover. So welcome, Maureen.
Thank you. Thank you. So nice to be here.
Yeah.
So nice to see you, Rebecca, and to meet you, Laurine. Although I met you online before, but nice to meet you. More in a more smaller platform, just the three of us.
That is nice. Please tell us about yourself.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Maureen, as she said, and I am I've been a student on the path of life for a long time, and I've studied a lot of things along the way. I have studied Reiki. I've studied movement. I'm a medicine dance movement facilitator. I have done some shamanic training. I have done art. I'm also an artist. I work a lot with fiber art. And I also have been very much on a spiritual path. And that started a long time ago. That started what started me on the movement path was that I couldn't sit still in meditation. I just couldn't. I was always moving, my leg was shaking, something was happening. And at some point, if I can't sit still, I can move into it. So I started doing movement. And when I started doing movement, that really helped me to be calmer, to be able to drop in. And after many years of moving, I got to a place of stillness. And all of these things that I've been doing along the way have also kind of expanded or caused more awareness for what one of the main things I do, which is cook. I do organic, healthy, vegan, vegetarian food. My actual motto is eat your way healthy, because food is our medicine, or it can be. And it's interesting that, years ago when doctors started taking the oath, their oath was first do no harm. The same person that wrote that also wrote, let food be thy medicine, let thy medicine be thy food. And after years and years and years of knowing that there has to be a better way, basically kind of my life has evolved around that now. That, there's so many things that we could be doing and eating better that can help us to be calmer, to be basically healthier, to be stronger. But it involves consciousness. It involves paying attention to what you eat. It involves reading labels. It involves just basically expanding your consciousness. And for me, I've been doing it for so long I'm still expanding my consciousness every day when I work with food. And so all of those things that have come together in my kitchen with the Reiki and the movement and everything, really, when I'm in the kitchen and I'm working with food, I'm enhancing it with all the energy I'm putting into it. And that's another thing that I think that a lot of people get carried away with and don't really pay attention to the fact that when you're in the kitchen and you're making food, whatever energy you're carrying at that point in time, that's going into the food. So, you get home late from work and you're trying to put dinner on the table and you're just like, that's going into the food. So if we could just, before we step into that arena, if we could just be calm ourselves, center ourselves, and then realize that this is the nourishment that we want to give people. We want to give them good, nourishing, energetically nourishing food too. And it's interesting to me because, we go out to dinner a lot and everything, but seeing the backside or the inside of a kitchen, there's a lot of stress in that environment. And I've experienced it firsthand. And all of that goes into the food. So if you ever go somewhere and you have food and you just, the food was good, it was tasty, you felt like you were somewhat satisfied, but there's just something like it doesn't feel quite right. Sometimes it's the energetics. So one of the things, a way to get around that, or a way to help yourself, is to, when you're eating, to be centered and to be in a mindful practice of, I'm enjoying this nutritious food, and whatever was there before, I release it, and my body will know exactly what to do with this food to make it perfect.
That is fabulous. So it's yes, we talked about your intuition, but it's really being intentional.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, absolutely.
That's beautiful.
And the thing is, if we go ahead.
I was just going to say, each week Maureen has a menu and offers quite a variety of things, from tonics to soups and muffins, or all kinds of different things. But knowing that what goes into that menu, anything that I pick up on Monday evenings, I know has been infused with the heart of Maureen. It's a beautiful gift. Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's my intent. So it comes across, and I'm glad that it does. And I don't know what to say else, and that is my intent, and I pay a lot of attention to it. I shop at farmers markets. That's the way I've been buying my produce for years. The grocery store is not the best place to find the most nutritious and good tasting fruit, but farmers market definitely is. I've made friends with a lot of the farmers, and it's a good experience to be there, and it's a good experience of taking home that food and working from that. And there's some things. Thomas, my husband, has a somewhat robust garden, depending on the heat of the day. So some of the things I grow here, a lot of the herbs that I can use come out of the garden. And right now I have a very heavy zucchini load. So I'm making all things zucchini. I think this week there's 4 things on the menu that are zucchini based because I have zucchini.
Well, speaking of intentional, one thing I've learned being your friend for these 9+ years is that you are very intentional about a lot of things. You're very honest with yourself. You're honest with experiences. So with the introduction of 3 letters that I was delighted to learn from you, IGS, what kind of wisdom are you still in the process of learning? Because I feel that your IGS perspective wraps right into that question.
Well, IGS stands for internal guidance, in our internal or inner guidance system, and we all have it. And some people call it intuition, some people call it, but for me, I've been working with this for quite a while, and it's so interesting because I was reading something the other day that was talking exactly about that. The way that you increase or you encourage your intuition is to pay attention in the moment to how your body is reacting to something, not your mind necessarily, because we all spend a lot of time in our heads, and in our heads is where you can't shut it down. It goes off in these crazy path, like how did I get there from here? But talking about dropping into your body, and I do it with literally these days, I do it with almost everything. It's like, do I really need, I'm saying I need to go to the store and get this. Do I really need to go to the store and get this? And my body will say yes or no to me. So I'm so totally into that right now, because it's very, I think we can agree there's a lot of chaos going on around us, and constant grounding is needed, constant, awareness. And for me, the internal guidance or inner guidance system is really how I'm walking through my day. And it really helps me to be grounded, helps me to pay attention to what my heart wants, what my body wants in this moment. So that's how I kind of operate these days. And it does fit into all the other things that I do. It fits in with the food, because sometimes I get a crazy idea, like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I did that and that. And I just let my body, I don't even know how it happens, but sometimes it just happens, like, oh yeah, that works. So.
That's great. You have a very strong intuition. That's brilliant. And thanks for sharing these things that are really obviously very important to you. But I'm wondering, in your journey to get to all this wisdom, how'd you get here? How's your relationship with yourself evolved through all this time?
Well, one of the big things is learning to trust myself more, because I think for a long time I kind of I would think something, and then somebody else would say the opposite, and then I would start to second guess, like, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm off base here or something. And so it's taken me a long time to get to this point. No, it's fine. They have their opinion. I have mine. And it doesn't mean that they're right and I'm wrong, but for me, this is what's right. Listening to me, trusting that instead of second guessing. Because I find that when I just trust, like, I'm really struggling with something and I just say, you know what, I'm just going to let it go and whatever. And I usually find out that it works out exactly how it needs to be. So
trusting your own wisdom.
Trusting my own wisdom. Man, it's taken me a long time. It's taken me a long time.
Yeah, but you're here. And thank you for sharing. That's beautiful.
Even you touched on that back in the conversation when you mentioned about not being able to sit still for meditation, and to find a way that worked for you, that you gave yourself permission to find something that was different, that worked, instead of putting yourself into the groove of what was expected or taught or something. And I think that that's something that is very wise, is giving ourselves permission to be able to express ourselves in ways that are in vibrational or resonance with ourselves and our hearts. Mm-hmm. So I would like to continue our conversation with you with the question of, what down-to-earth little things bring you delight and joy outside the kitchen?
Oh, going to the ocean, making beach angels, playing with rocks on the ocean, butterflies, dragonflies, just being around trees, climbing in trees. There's like so many things that immediately when I do it, I'm in the zone. And And yeah, because we were just talking about birthday celebrations coming up. So what do I want to do? Well, it has to involve going to the ocean. And it
Nice.
has to involve play. It has to involve nature. So these are all the requirements for the birthday celebration. So yes, all of those things. And it's so funny because I was at farmer's market last week and there was a butterfly flitting around and I was just like, oh, look. And people were giving me the butterfly. But it's a butterfly and it's a monarch. And my husband has actually been involved with this project where he works that they're encouraging monarch butterflies. And they have gone through amazing lengths to encourage the monarchs, and they've had so many monarchs that have been born or come through, gone from caterpillar, cocoon, and then merging as butterflies. And I had butterfly envy actually because I had backyard. I go out there and I see one caterpillar. And, oh, you have one, and then later on the afternoon, it's gone. And I'm hoping that they've just crawled somewhere and I'm just not seeing them. But I suspect we have a lot of bird activity and it's impossible. A circle of life, what can you do? But it's so exciting to see them. And we've actually had one, like, we've had a number of them that the cocoons, we found the cocoons. And Thomas actually filmed one time. So he saw the emergence of the cocoon. And it's fascinating. And they
It is.
Most butterflies only live 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know if most people know that.
Oh.
They literally live 2 or 3 weeks. But there is one, they call it the super something. And it is the butterfly that actually migrates for the winter. They're monarchs and they will live up to 6 months. But only one batch out of the year does that.
Isn't that amazing? We learned about bees and now we're learning about the butterflies. It's wonderful. And I will interject that how you find delight. I mean, it's all over your face right now. You're animated. And a lot of times the things that bring you delight and joy are things that you very naturally ripple it out so that others can opt to be delighted as well. And at some point, it would have been fun if I had thought about it because your angels are amazing that are made out of all kinds of things that you find when you're hiking or out on the beach or something. They are beautiful. They are playful, just delightful. So.
So can you please leave us perhaps with a nugget of wisdom for other listeners that are listening here today, or even perhaps a younger woman, or I don't want to put words in your mouth, but can you leave us with a beautiful nugget of wisdom?
Yes. Find the things that bring you joy and do them. And when you have days that you feel like you just take a breath and you drop into your heart and you know that this too shall pass, and you find something to make yourself feel joyful for a minute, whether that's putting on a piece of music and dancing around, or just going out for a walk, sitting next to a tree, engage with nature in some way. Talk to a squirrel. I have conversations with a squirrel sometimes. And anything that lifts your spirits, because that's really what we're meant to do. We're meant to enjoy our life. And we get caught up, I think, or I've gotten caught up in the past in the minutia. And it's all about the big picture. So you know what? I told my sister the other day, she said her kitchen floor was telling her it was dirty. I said, that's okay. Don't listen to the kitchen floor. The kitchen floor can just be dirty and it can be okay. And just what you need to do right now is go outside or go in your sewing room or go do something with play with a piece of art, play with something, but play, and just let your kitchen floor be there. So I just say pay attention to how you're feeling in the moment, check in with yourself, and when you feel like I need something, that's your body saying you need to be doing something maybe different than you're working with in that moment. Because sometimes we'll feel like we need to power through, and you do much better if you can just let go of the powering through and take a step back.
Ooh.
That's my little bit of wisdom for right now.
Now, those are words of wisdom.
That's a good nugget of wisdom. And as we wrap up, I will just acknowledge, Maureen, your joy, that it's very evident that you embrace life. You say yes to life, and that doesn't mean that we've talked a lot about boundaries when you say yes and when you say, maybe I'm listening to my body and it says I need to take something off the plate. But overall, the theme is that you say yes to life. And so thank you for saying yes to our invitation, for being a guest today. It's been a joy to connect with you and hear about your heart and your wisdom. So
And
thank you. It's been lovely.
great. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you for making food sound exciting. Really. There's a whole new level now of awareness about food.
yes, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much. Take good care, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. Enjoy your day.
Okay. Now, this is the fun part where end recording. End recording. I don't know if you guys can hear my dogs.